Boom, we are live. We should be live. Hello? Good morning.
Oh, hi. Uh, welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. I'm going to say it. Welcome, Vandal. Welcome, Legion. Welcome to all the people in YouTube land for your face holes. I had potatoes, like massive triple serving of potatoes. Thank you so much, OBS, for causing so much stress. Thank you to Vandal for being the MVP of the decade.
We'll see. We got to see if there's chat. If, like, chat can hear us first. Maybe I'm just like the regular VP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can everybody hear us? Is that okay? Are we live on the YouTubes? Are we live on the YouTubes?
Well, I just want to show this to all my sixth grade teachers.
I'm just waiting to see if anyone's there. Yeah, Dennis Mitchell says we are live. That's good. Finally, I just want to say, can we get X1s in the chat? Everyone who wants to give Breeze Tones the biggest, most manly hugs that you can, because the man has been stressed. I'm seeing little things flying off his head. He has. He says, not at all, not at all. He's just sitting there going, we go live in 15 minutes. I have no sound. I got to restart. And he's been going like a little bit loopy. And I feel bad because these things seem to be focused on you every single time. I don't know why.
Steve goes live 47 times a week and he has like 1 or 2 bumps, but every time you turn your OBS on, it tries to kick you in the nuts.
It does. It does. That's what I don't understand. It's not even a consistent error, but just so everyone knows, if I was losing it, Steve, it would be a very different Adam. I'm actually much more calm now when it's just like, it's just software. It's like, And the good thing is, as you can tell, it's very cold down here at the moment, so it helps with no sweaty upper lip. I have zero sweat going on right now. But so thank you to Vandal for hosting. He always pulls through with 2 minutes to go, and I can't get it to go. So
I've done a lot more in 2 minutes than this. I'll tell you that much.
Let's unpack that comment. And,
it'll only take a couple seconds.
yeah.
The question was, how much did you make, and how many knee pads did you go through?
You don't need knee pads if it's less than 5. What?
Yeah, I got plenty of pillows on my couch, if you know what I mean.
That's what throw pillows really are for, if you think about it as an adult, because I'm an adult now with like a couch that has, like 18 throw pillows, and I'm just sitting there like falling off the couch like, why? Why do we do this? Oh, it was only $3 at the Big Lots. But yeah.
Just to change the subject, I might say, Dennis Michael, thank you for your input there into the stream, and hello to you, Chris Vandal, Legion Banana Peanut Blueberry Butt Plug. Okay. I'm not even going to ask.
My contribution for the day.
Nice. Legion sent me. Dan J. Heya to Dan J. And of course the great Wombatsky from South Australia. Hi Rob. Advocate for Liberty is here. Hello. Matthew Welch is here. Hello. Matthew Welch, did you make the comment on the YouTube after the Aussie Vape Show on Sunday about finding the Kassar YouTube? Good job. Yeah. It's nice to see a little bit of stuff going on the Intergoogles, and glad you found it. Yeah. The other one that I'm just going to repeat is the Vita News Network is a really, really good one to check out as well. It's some content coming out from that. But we just got a nice little crew going on as usual on the Monday/Tuesday. Nice little crew. Are you fellas okay?
Yeah, I had my follow-up appointment with the doctor this morning about my foot, and he was astounded, amazed, as was I, because the issue I had with my foot before, and I went in, he gave me the exercises, which I promptly did for 3 days and then forgot about, and occasionally did when I remembered, but I wasn't a good boy. I didn't really do much of them. When we were at the doctor's the first time, I did the exercise. I could do it 4 times, and then that was it. I couldn't go any further. It was burning. It was horrible. Today, I was just doing it. I did it like 20 times per foot, and he's like, "You sure you haven't been doing your exercises?" I'm like, "No, not really. I'm lazy, but it's fixed itself." Self-rectification. but he's advised me to keep it up if I can, keep up the exercises as much as I have, and if I don't have any more problems, I don't need to call him. So that's
what
awesome.
you're saying is don't do any exercises and then don't do them if the problem persists. Is that what you just said?
Pretty much.
Steve Legion. I'm not your real dad, but dude, bro, dude. That's
Nope.
Hey, at least I'm honest. I'm honest about it. I mean, the fact is that we go to our physio, we go to our doctor, whatever it is, and unless you are like really, really bad, like when I got my hand crushed, I did my exercises religiously. But a minor ache and pain, we are all like this. We just kind of like, we come out and go, yeah, I got the list, I got the tool, I got the rubber band, and we start doing it, and then it's like,
yeah, but here's my question then. Would you have done it more if you used your feet to do all the stuff you do with all the stuff you do? Would you have done it
Absolutely.
more?
Absolutely.
So
Did you
now
set that up?
the next step is now you have to create feet-centric content to get you back in the groove.
Bottom line is though, they have
No,
self-rectified. My feet have self-rectified. This is the point. They're better.
I don't know.
With very
if that's
little
a
input
thing.
for me.
I don't think. Did you get like a cortisone shot or something? Because like I gotta tell you, man, I don't think like you just automatically heal like that. Like.
All I can say is before it hurt, and now it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing.
You're also explaining age. That's
Yeah, that is true.
yeah, those things happen. I've had a few, let's call them ghost injuries, come and go, and it's like, okay, but did that even exist? Am I a fruit? Like, what happened? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is definitely age. Like you will get those more and more. Like did somebody just stab me in the side? Oh fuck. Where did that go? Where did that come from? And where did it go? And why isn't it there now? I'm really concerned now. And then it's just gone. And it never comes back again. But except your knee goes out. Just randomly. Like, why is my knee sore? What, did I bang it? No. Oh, why is it not sore anymore? That's literally age. It's just like it's kind of like having like a randomizer and lights all over your body. It's like, okay, this one, boom, pain.
Your
Pain
nerve
here.
system's your RGB.
Quiet. Yeah, it's everything is I think actually Anthony's got a point there. Ham and cheese cured me.
It's the ham and cheese, babe.
It's all down to the ham and cheese.
No, it's funny you bring this up. I know you guys got some years on me, but like I'm turning 35 this year, and every time I get a random pain, I'm like, this is the end. This is where I die. I'm like, I'm ready to log out. I'm just, nope, game over. It's done.
Actually, you bring that up, but 34 is that point. You're not a teenager anymore. You're not pretending to be a teenager anymore. You can't pretend to be a teenager anymore. And nobody wants to ID you anymore. And all of a sudden, yeah. Fuck, oh, my back. Did I sleep in a draft? Just all that stuff starts popping up.
Yeah.
And it's going to get worse and worse.
I slept
to the
weird
point
on my
where
side.
it's not even noticeable.
I slept
This is
on my
like
side
life is-
weird the other night, and my back's been hurting for 2 weeks. Like.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I haven't had any of those kind of problems. Mine is self-inflicted. Too much gym or too much sitting in a strange position with the coils and all that sort of thing. It's all self-inflicted. No random injuries. Yeah.
I just want to say to Matthew
They're all
Welch.
waiting for you.
Yeah. Matthew
They're all
Welch.
going to they're just being piling up, and they're piling up, and they're piling up, and then they'll all come at once, and you'll just be a puddle of jelly on the floor.
He'll just have to make like
Help me now.
triple wrap coil legs, and his legs will be Breeze Tones endorsed, and then he's gonna rock around with those as his body parts. But Matthew Welch in the chat said, "Dude, my shoulder and wrist were killing me for weeks, but he had to tell the old lady that the handcuffs had to go." That's a little different, man.
Yeah. And at least they're furry, right? They're fluffy ones. Or maybe he's hardcore.
Oh, if you use the fluffy ones, you're a pussy. You got to use the hardcore metal ones.
Steve was
If
like,
you're
if it doesn't
really
have razor
if you're really
blades.
into it, you get the old ones, not like police handcuffs, but the really really old ones that look like a D. They got that Clunk.
Oh, like
Shackles?
penitentiary ones,
Like
shackles.
proper manacles. But the thing is, gotta say that's a good kind of pain.
Yeah, that's a good problem.
People pay for that kind of pain.
Also in the chat, Anthony pointed out that Adam looks like he'd go out and graffiti some stuff. But in my mind, I was thinking, you know how in 8 Mile, Eminem was writing rhymes? Adam was riding around on public transit, designing new wire builds.
Yeah. Wire builds. Speaking of wire builds, I bought some of these for the first time in 10 years. I bought some guitar strings for the first time in 10 years, and it's very funny to like look. I mean, you won't be able to see on screen, but you know the Clapton situation. I'm not sure I've ever looked at guitar strings more intently. I kind of want to call up Ernie Ball and say like, oh, hey, have you got any jobs going on there? What do aliens sound like in drop D tuning?
Did you try it?
Yeah, right. What does the resonance sound like? But that's out of control, and it's funny when you know, like, so ages in my fingers now, and I see these, and I'm like, these are out of control, and I wonder, you know, it's nickel wound electric guitar string. Nickel phosphor? Is that the material? Is that what they use?
Yeah.
Advocate, tell us what these kind of strings are.
Yeah, I want to know. And do they vap?
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to jump in and say, don't do that. Especially if you're watching, don't do that.
Yeah,
those strings are not the right material for using, and also they're coated. They're not good for vaping.
Yeah.
That's first of all, just a bit of a disclaimer there. Yeah. But it did raise that question. Like, you could do that. You could start a side business. Breeze Tones bespoke guitar strings.
Yeah.
I know you're good with a spreadsheet, so you know just got to calculate the right gauge and the right tensions.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you could transfer your skills to that.
And then like when you're breeze tones, you could tell people the breeze part's vaping and the tones part's like the music, dude. Like,
this is my band, man. Yeah, we got some demos here. Here's my tape. Yeah, because I don't even know like these gauges. Is that the same protocol of resistance wire?
Yeah.
Really?
I wonder
that's the final gauge. So if it's a Clapton with a core and it's got the Clapton wrap,
I see what you're saying.
Right,
yes.
Which is basically a wrapped guitar string.
Yeah.
It's the outer gauge that they're measuring.
Right.
Like of the final project.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Anyway, I just thought that was funny because I've had these for almost 2 weeks now, and I still haven't put them on my guitar, but.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. I pulled them out and I was like, wow, I'm not sure. This kind of feels same, but very, very foreign because now I have a whole new relationship with wire that never would have.
But how are the wraps looking? Are they nice and tight? Are they even?
Oh yeah, these
lots of.
But that brings up an interesting question of handcrafted versus machine made because I'm sure these are machine made. But the tension that they put on that Clapton, you certainly don't get any movement. You know, like there's no loosey goosey situation. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of tension they have. But I guess also because, like what you said, the large gauges, you know, there's no room for movement there. But interesting. I also don't remember ever stringing a guitar and cutting the entire wire and then having the D-core come off, so to speak. So it'd be interesting.
I think it's because the outer gauge, the outer wrap is thicker than what we would use. But it does raise that question. If they can make machine-made guitar strings so perfectly, and I've got tons of guitar strings over the years, all perfectly wrapped, not a gap, no spaces. I mean, good quality musical material, whatever you want to call it. If they can do that, how come machine-made coils from coil manufacturers that use machines in China and just pump them out, how come they are so shit? How come they are just the worst garbage in the market? They're gaps, they are uneven, they're not what they're supposed to be. I mean, it says this is a Clapton, and I open it up and it's some sort of braided thing wrapped around.
Because it's about production, not perfection with those. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Just sell. Yeah. If you could buy anything, that's like I mean, most things, but like vape related, especially in a kit that comes with 30 other things, and it's like cheaper than like the bottle of juice you bought. It's probably not worth it.
Let's see, Ernie Ball. I know they've got enough of a market, but if they could just dedicate one of their machines in their factory, I'm not trying to put you out of business, Adam, but if they could dedicate one machine in their factory to like just use these coils,
Yeah.
they could dominate the mass market.
Yeah. They probably could. I think I have seen a machine that actually I was in discussion with someone about this, and there is a machine with tension, like a tension pulley or whatever it is on there that you can adjust tension that they use in like fishing rods or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to build. And I'm sure that like what is it? Those motors that have magnetic motors where they wrap to get the resistance and all that sort of thing. So surely those are also machine made. That wouldn't be done by hand, surely. Yeah, it's quite interesting. There was a question there, Matthew Welch, what guitar? It is a very cheap Telecaster. Because I play like a cheap Telecaster, and but I pulled it out the other day, and this was all about a discussion of, I guess, so many things happen in your life, and all of the hobbies that I had, hobbies slash, how I used to live. A lot of those things have been taken out, or I've pushed aside, or because of other things in life, and I decided to give myself a 15-minute window of getting back to some hobbies every day that I used to do. So even if I pick up a guitar for 15 minutes and strum G chord for 10 minutes straight, then stoked. Me time.
Yeah, just recalling our conversation of last week. I'm just imagining you sitting there planning out your day, and from 11:45 to 12, be creative.
Yeah.
Noodle around a bit.
Yeah. Advocate for liberty. I am taking orders for 8-string guitars. Yeah, no doubt. 7 strings, 8 strings, whatever.
Maybe you could do that for fun, and it turns into something cool, because like you said, you could do like the wire tuning and stuff like that. Like maybe you just make like a vapable guitar, and then when you're riffing it, that's when the hits are hitting. You ever hit like a hot frying pan with like a wet sponge? Does that? You'd be like with the cotton, but. And then breathe it in like it's a chloroform. Don't do this. Don't do any of this.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that every time you fret, you'd be changing the ohmage. Like fingers off, you're at 1.5, and then you finger in the 5th fret, and you're down to a 0.9, and you hit the 9th fret, and you're up to a 0.8 or a 0.7. Whatever you want to vary, just as you're playing.
Great Wombatsky, real quick. Excuse me, sir. This is a Wendy's, okay? But I was thinking too. Like if you get the guitar thing, you know how they have the guitars with like the organ hooked up to it and everything. You just get one of those mouthpieces, and then when you're ripping the breeze tones chords, it's blowing O's out the end of the head of it. Like. You do be a one-man show, dude. You could totally be the one-man show at ECC next year.
Yeah, my band's called I Wiccan Drop D. Ooh, that was the worst. Yeah.
Is it just me, or is like everyone in the negative for points right now?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
This is really
sounds like the Amigos and Co.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you gonna do your buffets?
Sure.
I do have something new.
Oh.
It's nothing fancy though. Come on.
Well then show us. Jump in. Show off.
So
is it a pod?
Yeah, it's actually it's a disposable device. But I'll do my regulars real quick. Caliburn Anarchist Blue. Actually Anarchist Purple. Bubblegum. Great bubblegum. As always, my top side. No, it's my Veep Gape. I can't say it. I can never say it. I could say like anyways. Veep. This thing with the goat on top and Anarchist orange in that. And then I do have like the Yayas. I've been trying these, but we recently got some in at work. And at first I thought it was a typo because I thought they meant to say Supreme, but it's a Super Me. And so it's a disposable. It's supposed to have 4,000 puffs in it. We'll see how that goes. And it's rechargeable. So you can keep going. But the flavor in this is lemon mellow crumble, and as you know, I'm not a big dessert guy. You know what I mean? There's a couple I like, and I'll do those consistently. But I tried this, and oh my god, it's a fucking lemon cake inside of it, and it is fucking good. The only thing is like when my salt mix, I've stepped down to 35. You know, because the 50s, I was doing those all the time, and I was having like too much sinus pressure, especially with like all the allergies and stuff. So this thing's kicking my ass because it's 50, and I'm not used to it. But I will say, like, I remember talking crap about disposables and stuff like that before when, like, they first started hitting real hard and stuff like that. But this thing is great for fucking out and about, put it in my pocket, like, and all this stuff. And it's cheap enough that if I lose it, I just throw it away. But that's not why I'm talking about it. The flavor on this one is fucking great. So there's some pods out there that have great flavors. But that's all I got.
Interesting. Yeah. I just keep thinking what a different place it would be if those were legally available in a place like Australia or, God, India, for that matter.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? It would be insanely good. Insanely good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I was talking to someone about it the other day, and it's a complex situation in Australia. A lot of the industry is very, very against them, and a lot of users are very against them because of the whole environmental issue. I agree with the environmental issue. I don't think they should be your mainstay. That shouldn't be what you look towards all the time, but they definitely got a place. And yeah, having them in stores, having them in community stores, having them around for that transitional or curious smoker looking to quit, it's nothing but good.
Yeah.
The whole time we've been spending time, like, I'm not trying to get in a rant here, but the whole time we've been yelling at other people in the community that already know about all this stuff. These are for the people that just go into a gas station real quick, grab something, and go. And there will be the ones that need to know this. Like, they need these more than we would, because, like, you see these people stocking up on stuff. So things could have been a lot different, but not to harp on that. Adam, what are you vaping on?
Yeah, very simple today. I have the billet box with the bridged in there, and some sugar cookie from Baked. I'm absolutely adoring that e-liquid. I just really, really like it. And the Denali 20X700 with a Nightmare 25 on top because I've been busy, and I haven't rewicked anything, and it's very unusual for me to do that. And I have two devices, but I'm very happy, and I'm just going to vap them. So that's
all you need. One for each hand.
Yeah. This one is actually the Vapor Treats cookies and custard and cookies. I never get it right.
Cookies and custard.
But, thank you. Yeah, I very much enjoy it. It's like a little what do you call it? Guilty pleasure. That e-liquid for me. I quite like it. Yeah. But Stephen.
Mine is quite simple setup today. I've got the Obelisk 120 with the Z Max on top. In there's a little bit of a Daily Grind toffee nut. It's nice stuff. It's really nice stuff. Not as nice, in my opinion, as the rest of their line, but it's still pretty good. I've got some, what the hell is this? Mango and Dragon Fruit from Redback in the Valerian Special Edition. Special because it's got a USB-C. That's the only real difference. Should be reviewing that this week, I think. And I've got another Obelisk 120 with, that thing. It's ancient. It's the Addy Cubed that I randomly reviewed last week. A pair of Mystic Oils in there, a bunch of Anarchist Black. It's a damn nice vape. I'm not looking forward to stripping it down or cleaning it or re-wicking it or anything under the hood because it's not fun. It's old and it's work. But once they're in there, the vape's really nice.
Was that an Aria? Like, because I remember Twisted Messes did that cube with Aria, I believe. Aria vape a while back.
Twisted Messes did a cubed one. This one is with Tofel.
Gotcha.
It's about 6-7 years old. It's a pretty damn old thing. Just had it sitting around and never actually used it, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Nice.
What's Anarchist Black? What's the profile on Anarchist Black?
Cupcakes and fruit pebble cereal. Vanilla cupcake pebble cereal. It's one of my favorite desserts if I go to a dessert side.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's one of those ones that I vaped like bottle after bottle, and then I moved away from for a while. And every now and then, about 2-3 times a year, I go back to a bottle, and it just feels like old times. It just feels really comfortable, really It's almost like a throwback vape for me, especially with a setup like that. It's just
I actually
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know
nice.
that Anarchist had many desserts. I kind of thought they were all fruity. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
the
there's
Anarchist Black and Anarchist White. White is
s'mores.
s'mores.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's one of my favorites. And then there's green too, and it's what is it? It's like cookie butter and like green apple. Not my favorite, but you know it has its fans. And then
Interesting.
I think that's it for desserts. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like I work for them or anything.
The vet will go into work tomorrow and they'll be like, thank you, we're good.
Work from home.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your outstanding representation and
Yeah.
yeah.
Leave the work phone.
Yeah.
In the chat, we got
To say though,
people. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just going to say that black, white, and pink. They're pretty much the only ones that I really like. I tried a few of the others. Wasn't a huge fan. No, the overly sweet, fruity flavors just didn't really cut it for me. But the blacks, especially, really nice.
Mm.
And of course, pink. Pink lemonade's it's in its own class, I think.
That's the one
I
that
would
got
very
rid of
much
cigarettes.
like to get into more fruit action, but I like it to be a complementary situation to the rest of Harmonious recipe. So whether it's bakery or some other alternate flavor wheel situation as opposed to just straight up fruit, then I'd love to delve into it more.
Well, I know the
What's your
two new
favorite?
ones are coming.
What's your favorite kind of jam?
All the jams, really. You know, if you're talking conserve, then yes, any of the jams, for sure. Probably, something darker berry, I guess. I'm a fan of dark jams.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should maybe reach out to Mr. Bisenko. A nice croissant with the jam.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'll be down for that.
That croissant, well, when I was tasting it, I was like, yeah, I like the ham and cheese. I'm a weirdo, but some people might like that same croissant with a sort of a fruitier jam sort of element.
Yeah, good base if that's the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not something you hear very often. A croissant with conserve, that'd be awesome.
Is
It's always
conserve like
Danish
marmalade or something?
Yeah.
What's that?
Is conserve like marmalade?
It's jam. You guys call it jelly, but
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I just used the term conserve so that the internationals would
Understand? Yeah.
jam jelly. No, don't even, Stephen. That's terrible. Yeah, conserve.
Do you know
Or
what
you
the
could call
difference
it
between
preserve.
jam and
Yeah.
jelly is?
Yeah.
How do people drink like this? That feels so awkward and uncomfortable.
Does your pinky
I'm-
even fit in that handhole though?
I have no idea.
I actually have a mug that I don't use, but
Uh,
it has keys in it.
I'm not sure if you know, but Anthony's in the chat, just so you know. Yeah.
What's up, dude? In the chat, we got a couple people talking about what they got going on. Anthony Romella says he's got a DIY watermelon milkshake. Falcon King on a Jackaroo. Not the real Gerard Butler just joined in. What's up, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Advocate for Liberty. He's got some orange creamsicle. I believe that's a DIY he did. Shannon Brown just made a mango pineapple peach. That sounds like a good summer mix right there. And then let's see what else. Duncan, Advocate for Liberty also has got Drunken Apple and Wreck Them Balls from Clown today. Clown Vapors, if you guys seen it, he does like what, mixing it up and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't been on YouTube in so long. Let's see. Anthony Romella says the Motofo L7, get it because it's square. That's for Steve. And then also shout out to Mowgli Vapes for being the only person with positive points tonight.
I gotta say, what Jake's planning on mixing up sounds really good. If you pull the tobacco out, and tobacco is not going to work for me, but cinnamon, apple, and bourbon tobacco, that's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
I think if you pull the tobacco out, probably his recipe probably wouldn't work, but cinnamon, apple, and bourbon would be nice.
Yeah. Jake's a fan of making up the stuff, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I've been seeing his insights into some of the new devices he's got in the workshop. Very nicely, very nicely done, Mr. Scrapwood.
As I always say, Jake's got the nicest wood. Absolutely.
And just leave that one alone. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I can't do the bumpers, but should we talk about this one a bit?
Yeah,
is
let's
that
do
all right?
it.
I can't do the bumpers, but the motivational blah blahs for this week. I guess every week there's always something that inspires something, and today I typed in motivational quotes today because I like looking at the things that I wouldn't normally search for. Today's motivational blah blah comes from Cookie Monster, and I'm not going to read it in his voice. I'm just going to read it in Australian accent. Yeah, thank you, Stephen. He says today,
like that dismissive pat in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cookies?
That's it. Today, me will live in the moment unless it's unpleasant, in which case, me will eat a cookie. I think it's okay to... we talk about discipline and, not straying from the path and all that sort of stuff. And I think it's also another one of my favorite quotes is, it was at Oscar Wilde, everything in moderation, including moderation. It's okay to get off the path, or it's okay to indulge, and it's okay to, say those things that you hope you wouldn't want to say, and all that sort of stuff. So I kind of like that one. I wish I could show you the image because it's got Cookie Monster with crazy eyes, but I thought that one was a good one. That's all I got. Yeah.
Well, with a lot of
in terms,
yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, in terms of industry news, I don't have a lot to share this week, but I think we've probably talked about this a few times. As Modus have not officially made any announcement, but it's looking to me like the end is near.
Oh.
They've had a sale on their site for pretty much a year now. They haven't released anything for ages. I can't remember the last time it was. It was months and months and months ago. And they popped up to a 70% off sale on their website just last week. And I went there to try and find a few older things, just 70% off. Why not grab a Kodama or two? And they've got nothing in stock, just a few RDAs and stuff. So if you are looking for a good deal on that stuff, might be time to go get it. But it looks like, one of the, and I'm not going to say top tier companies, but definitely one of the bigger companies over the last 5 years of history, at least. Looks like they're just slowly fading away.
That's you would say that Asmodus probably have an awful lot of devices out there in the world over the last few years as well. That was still a very big name when the Minikin in particular. I'm trying to think of what other devices, but then they had maybe 3 or 4 releases after that, and all of those Kodamos and that situation.
Yeah,
that's a big company. That's not a little. That's not a little company.
Yeah.
Have they been swallowed up by someone bigger?
I would think that if they'd been swallowed up, they would have rebranded or made an announcement, or sort of like, sometimes the company does that. They take some time to pull back, and then they come out hard with their sort of new look, new feel, new products. Something goes on. This just really feels like dying with a whimper. It's just slowly fading away. Actually, remember they released a mouth to lung that wasn't very good. I reviewed it, and it had some issues with it. And they released the Barrage with Thesis.
Mm-hmm.
And those were the last 2 devices I saw from them. As far as actual mods, the Minikin 3, which didn't really take off. And then I think the issue with the Minikin 3, and I mention this a lot when I talk about reviews of things that are upgrades, like version 3s, version 4s of products. You've got to look towards the future and improve while maintaining what made the original special. And I know a lot of people like the Minikin 2, but there's the Minikin 1, 1.5, the Minikin Boost, and the Kodama all set a standard for that C frame, and people really like the feel and look of that. And yeah, you can put a touchscreen in there if you want. You can change how it works on the inside.
Yeah.
But as soon as they hit the 2, they started moving away from that. And when they got to the 3, it was a whole different thing. It was not a Minikin in any. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But that's not a Minikin. That's a different thing. It needs a different name. It's just you're just giving it that name because you own that name.
Mm.
There's no heritage there.
It should have been
Yeah.
a
So,
new model.
Yeah. I'm actually just looking at it now. I completely forgot all about that device. I think I watched one review on it and then it was gone from memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense.
Minikin 2 was my first device, like my first full-fledged vape.
There you go. Yeah. Interesting. It was the touchscreen. You know, the touchscreen, the thing that destroyed that, because I can't imagine a touchscreen development for these kind of devices would have been a cheap electronics venture for them. Particularly if it wasn't great.
I think they put so much effort into the touchscreen that they felt they had to stick with it. Because once the 2 came out with the touchscreen, that was it. Every device they did. We've got the Oni Squonk. We've got all the various Minikins, all sorts of other little devices. They all had that touchscreen, and it was not good. It was fiddly as fuck.
I hated that.
And you were always picking up your device, and your finger would slide across. I'm in temp mode now.
Yeah.
How do
I don't know how to use this.
It was like, oh, how do I get back again? Trying to remember those touch, tap, swipe up, swipe left. Oh, fuck, I'm going to match that guy in Tinder, swipe back again. I mean, it was just just the wrong interface, The longer I get into this, the more I'm a proponent for simplicity, straightforward electronics, really, really good aesthetics, really good ergonomics. Just keep it simple. Adding stupid stuff. I love electronics. I love gadgets. I love apps. I love all that stuff. But I don't need my phone and my vape to talk to each other. I don't need to be going in here to set curves and change the color on this thing. I just need to hit a button and have vapor come out. That's, keep it simple.
Yeah. Matthew Welsh saying there sucks because this motors had stateside warehouse and support. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, they were one of the few companies that surprised the crap out of me when they originally reached out to me and I was reviewing for them. Everything came by UPS from the States. That's different.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
Well, back then,
Just
too, they were one of the
just a heads up. I did say if someone wants some of the older stuff, if you can find it on their website, go for it. AsmodusAsia.com. I would not recommend going there. I went. We were also looking for backup devices for my wife. Of course, the Minikin 1.5 is her favorite device, and we thought, okay, we'll check it out. And we found them there, listed at I think it was 7,000 yen, which works out to $20, and everything's in stock. Everything's in stock across the board, even the really old stuff. And I'm like, this doesn't look right. And I looked at the contact information, and it's still California. It's the same head office. I'm like, your stock levels are not correct here. But apparently the American one is still shipping. I saw a few people in Grimm's Patron just recently made some orders. So
I actually really like that one. That was the C-frame situation, which I thought that device was really cool. And that was obviously the one before the device that made it for them in the with the batteries in the palmable, whatever that one was. The Minikin 2, wasn't it? I guess. Yeah. Really cool little device.
No, the Minikin 1 and the 1.5 were really, really, really big for quite a long time. They were, in terms of mass-made, mass-produced. Like we look at our world now. I mean, I guess Vicious Ant have kind of fallen out of favor, but there's that high end, there's the sub high end, and we have so many different levels of stuff. But at that point, I mean, if you bought, say, an E-Leaf, a Pico or something, you knew what you're getting. They were thin bodies, they were stamped press fits, 510s, that sort of thing. They weren't always that ergonomic and aesthetic. And Asmodeus really kind of changed the game in terms of making something with the same basic components, but it just felt and looked nice. Even to the point where, yeah, I've got my wife's old one there. She pulled it down, and it's dirty. It's been well used and it's been beaten. But we got the new one for her, and she had that moment of recognition. Like when you touch the finish on the original Minikins, it's satiny smooth. The curves are correct, but the finish is also really nice. They really, yeah, they did change the game quite a bit with that.
Just getting into a discussion with Amigos and Co about the techno. Yeah.
Yeah, EDM now.
Fatboy Slim is also not techno. Just saying that.
Remember when Eminem said Moby, nobody listens to techno, and then now everyone listens to techno. That's the only time he lost ever.
Yeah.
Also in the chat, just for anyone watching, for the useful information, Advocate Liberty says the vape mail ban's not in effect. Tentative date is November. This is not true for businesses. If you have a business, make sure you're doing your research. You have to still be tax registered in every state, and there's a new tax because of this being in the legislature for the federal government. You still have to register with the ATF and the tax regulators in every state. This is not a free ride for you to go ship products again and do stuff like that. I appreciate you putting information out there, Advocate, but that's not like full information. And so make sure that when you guys are putting out information like this, you're doing the research on it, and don't take information from Facebook groups, because I guarantee none of them do anything in the industry that have anything to say about it, because if, big companies that aren't shipping stuff still aren't doing it, it's probably because it's still illegal.
Yes, it's a grey area time, no doubt. We feel almost the same, waiting for our, stuff to come down in October as well in Australia. So it's definitely grey area for everyone at the moment.
Yeah.
I have a very strong feeling, Adam, that come Sunday night, you're going to feel a lot more positive about the way things are going to shape up here.
Yeah.
Not like they're going to turn out perfect, but you're going to feel that they're not as bad as we'd feared.
Yeah, indeed. And always remain hopeful, of course, but it's the detail that I really want to know about and be across, as I'm sure people who are losing dollars hand over fist waiting for lots of approvals of lots of things. Yeah. There we are. I should say that it isn't being enforced until November full scale. Thank you for the correction from Advocate. Yeah. There you go. Doesn't mean that people can't still be told about vaping, helping be found in technology, buying stuff, actually supporting your brick and mortar stores by going into a store, those kind of things.
As long as the products aren't illegal to own, possess, or sell, then you can get your hands on it somehow.
Yeah.
Now this may mean that eventually, by the time Christmas rolls around, there's a guy with a school bus driving around from state to state, playing Johnny Vapeseed. This may be how it works out, but as long as they're still legal, maybe you can't mail order. That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but you can get your hands on it somehow.
While we're on the subject too of this, a little bit of advocacy here and a little bit of my salty knowledge with stuff, or my salty opinion, I should say, with stuff. If you see vape shops that are still open in your local area, and say you're stocked up on something good and you got an extra $20 to spend, stop in that vape shop and go in there and buy something. Go check it out. And if it's terrible prices or stuff, obviously you don't have to sacrifice your income or anything like that for, you know what I mean? But go in there and show some support, because a lot of these shops have to go and they have to re-register with taxes again, and then they also have to do all this stuff and put all this money down to keep the doors open for you to drive by. So, you know what I mean? There are still some companies that have that can sell stuff through the mail because they are registered in certain states and stuff like that, and that's cool and everything. If it's the only place that you can get what you like, I understand that. But the thing is if you want to keep vaping alive, and keep things going for these small businesses, stop in, go in and buy something. Go buy a T-shirt, or go and hang out, or tell your friends about it. Because a lot of these companies are spending a lot of money to stay in operation, hoping that you'll come in and pick up a product. A lot of these brick and mortars, a lot of them have family and kids, just like anybody else that has a job or anything like that. And this is something that strikes home for you. This is your chance to put your advocacy into action. You know what I mean? This is the time for you to go out there and do that, because this is the chance to bring it back. And this is like in the regulatory sense, this is what the government did. They made sure to regulate the industry because now the people that can't afford to stay around aren't, not saying that all the ones that can are the best, but they're here and they're still producing stuff. And now they're the ones that are selling to the stores that need you to buy those products to continue to keep it going.
100%.
A story that I hear all the time, because I living regionally, of course, there's not a huge amount of business around me. When a new niche business, whatever it is, could be anything, opens up in the area, you hear all the people who are into that kind of thing going, yeah, finally we've got X in our area, I don't have to order online. And they go in and they order, and 2 years later the store shut down, and they're like, well, why did they close? I supported them. It's like, well, how many times did you go in? I think twice in 2 years. Yeah, okay, so there's 8 people in the area that are interested in this stuff, and they all went in twice.
Yeah.
At most. That's not enough to keep the doors open. That's not enough to pay their staff or pay their rent or their bills. If there's something, and I'm not saying that we all need to throw out money to keep every business open, but if there's something that is valuable to you, like there's a camera store in town, they're overpriced. I don't like to buy from them too much. I buy a lot of stuff online. It's much cheaper. But I understand that, if I want a place where I have to go and look at stuff, I want to get my hands on it before I purchase, I've got to play a part. Every now and then I've got to go in there and buy something. And that does mean I'm paying that premium. I could get it for $20 cheaper online. Amazon's great, free shipping with Prime. I'm going to pay $20 to $25 more. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it goes, but it keeps them open, and you're paying for that service, that you have a place there to go and talk about your issues, talk about your problems, troubleshoot your gear, get some sort of one-on-one warranty service if you have any issues. And I'm talking about vapes, cameras, remote controls, the local comic book store. It could be anything.
Yeah.
You got to go. You got to be more than just that face that nobody recognizes, thinks you're part of the family. Come once a year. Yeah. That's not really helping them out.
And then one thing that I could say, like this is like from Dennis in the chat. He said he ordered I ordered coils for a friend on an online store. $8 for an adult signature for you to use the U.S. Postal Service, right? So like Steve said, you go in some like stores, it's going to be more expensive. So you're going to spend an extra $8 anyways to sign for these things. And I'm not saying like, he's supporting his friends, stuff like that. But if you're going to order vape stuff that you're going to have to pay like whatever fee it is, an extra $10, an extra $8 to order it there, but the local shop has it. It's probably going to be a little bit cheaper than the $8 that you paid to have to sign for you the product that you're an adult using. You know what I mean? So if they were able to provide the same products, you'll be able to get those or you can even go to the vape shop, check it out. And most vape shops will pick up product that you ask for because they know it's a guaranteed sell. If it's a juice that they don't have or a product that they don't have that they can get their hands on. And so if you're going to pay $10 extra, $8 extra, whatever the signature fee is going to be anyways, and a vape shop's a couple more bucks than buying it directly from Big Bob's Vape Store online or whatever it is, go check out that shop. Mm. You're still supporting the big wholesalers because who do you think buys from the wholesalers? It's the brick and mortars. And then the brick and mortars sell to you. It's an ecosystem.
I have two trains of thought here, and one of them is just responding to Anthony. I want to know which whorehouse you go to. Just going to leave that there. And the other one was, thank you, Anthony. You just knocked it right out of my head. I had something valid to say.
That yourself. Now. You did that yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to interject. There is a store. It would actually be the closest vape store to me. It's not one that I frequent very often, only because of the choice of that they stocked. Still support them, of course, but I just never went there, to be completely honest. But I drove past this past weekend, and I now have seen that they have changed hands. It's a different store, but it's now still a vape store. It's a different company who's moved in there. So, I mean, bad if, that store, I'm not sure the situation of how they got out, but it's one of a bunch of stores, like a small company, but they have effectively handed it to another vape company. So I'm actually really happy to see that too. So if you go past there, it's a shop, group of shops that is very suburban, all that sort of stuff. Suburban, sorry, did I just say suburban? Suburban, but it's still a good thing. There's still, vape store available in the local area. So, yeah.
And another thing too, you gotta think about it like this: if you get really cool with like the vape shop in your local area, and you're going in there all the time, or you're going in and out, and it's comfortable enough to be like the vape shops were before even I was around in vaping, where you can go in and hang out and conversate. Seeing people go in and out is going to bring those people that are around that store. What's in there? What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I want to quit smoking cigarettes. It seems like it's doing pretty good. You know what I mean? And so, it's a double benefit. You go in there and you get the products, you help them keep the lights on, and as well, you could be bringing new people in. It's all about normalizing it. You got to normalize it. You got to make sure that people are comfortable with it. They see a guy go in there that's dressed like, head to toe in like a gothic drab, like Legion in his 20s or whatever, with punk rings hanging all out. Okay, they accept that kind of people. Then you see the guy that goes in there that's like, 40 years old with 5 kids that just quit smoking Marlboros, and he goes in there to get his pods or whatever it is. You see everybody go in there, and everyone's like, wow, well, anyone can do it. You know what I mean?
I remember what I wanted to say, and it kind of relates a bit to something that Chris said, but also to what Advocate just said. He's saying the more you support your brick and mortar stores, the more likely they are to carry your preferred devices, which is true. But in terms of they're likely to order stuff if you ask, because that's a guaranteed sale. So to keep in mind, a lot of people running the stores, they're not sitting watching YouTube waiting for that next review to drop to find out what's coming out in their stores in 6 months or so. They're not paying attention to what is on that front line, that cutting edge of new gear, the new shinies. They're taking care of business. They're paying their rent. They might be part of the Better Business Bureau. They're heading down to the local Senate or local council hearings for flavor bans, et cetera, because that's really important to them. They're taking care of a lot of that stuff. And then when they're done with that, it's a soccer game on the weekend. It's a picnic with the kids because, fuck, man, you got to have a life. So they're not really paying attention to every new thing that comes out there. So when you go in and order something, you're actually enlightening them a lot of times. You're letting them know that there's new gear that is interested. The amount of times I've heard people running stores who've, mentioned something like, oh, I didn't know there was so much hype for this new gear from this new company that I've never heard of. And everyone's raving about it, but now people are asking why it's not in the stock. I should have ordered it 2 months ago. It's because they're not, not on top of that. So keep that in mind when you go in and complain that your store doesn't have anything or it doesn't have the must-have gear. It's because they're ordering from catalogs, and they're ordering what distro people are telling them they should have a lot of the time.
And a lot of that stuff, like Steve said, it's hype stuff that's really big in like one area. Like there's so much influence of California vaping in the United States that people thought that all that hype juice would sell out there, in like Wisconsin or something like that. And working at a company that's diverse across, the world, you'd notice that there's different trends everywhere you go. And the best way that they're going to know to provide what you want is by asking.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. And that's across any industry. That's not just our industry. Yeah. Absolutely.
The reason I mentioned what I was saying is to moving to back to e-liquids, not just hardware. But I was talking to a vendor, big vendor in Australia, one of the major players. They do a lot of good stuff. They stay on top as much as possible. And I was asking for a couple of liquids, and they're like, I've never heard of those. I'm like, oh, okay, so I get it. I can see that difference now, because these were liquids that I was seeing. I was seeing Grim vape every week. I was seeing Twisted Messes vape. I was seeing, not Twisted Messes, Twisted 420. I was seeing that the U.S. vapors had been vaping it for 6 months, and it was huge, but it just hadn't made any inroads here. And a lot of it was because, like I said, they're just too busy to pay attention to what people on YouTube are vaping, which is affecting the market there, and it builds that hype. And we're sitting here as consumers going, I'd like to try some of that Bula Bole. Nobody's carrying it. Why is no one carrying it? Because the stores haven't even thought to get online and find that distro and order it from overseas. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the same stuff goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the work that you could be helping the industry is just by going in that store and letting them know. Because like Steve said, these people are running a business. They have families. They have lives. I got to tell you, running a business all day in the environment that we're in, especially with how hostile it is to vaping, and then just go sit on YouTube for 3 hours after a long day of like sweating and busting your ass. That's not the play, man. Like that they're not going to do that. They're not going to come on here and watch us talk about buttholes and the good solid, and then wait for the good solid 5 minutes of advocacy in the middle. You know what I mean? Like they did that. You're the advocate. You're the one that's in there teaching them by going in the store and patronizing the store.
Yeah, you can see this as an opportunity to help help, the hobbyists are helping those on the front line
Yeah.
to choose the right things so that we could effectively maybe change the market. Like if you're asking for rebuildables or asking for those things that, the regular person off the street wouldn't be asking for, but then it becomes a place to get those things. There's a store, I won't say which, but it's a store like that sells, not, just only starter stuff, and I can't suggest to go there for a lot of the, people that are asking me for certain products because they just don't stock them, but I do know of, a couple of stories of where they've gone in to say, can you please order me this? And it might take a little bit longer, but, then that store became relevant, so to speak, for the, the hobbyist situation. And it made them think, maybe we should get some of this stock, and, I mean, it's up to us. It's another way that, I think Shannon Brown was saying there, to my shop that I went to closed, I bought all my vaping gear and then I referred people to them, just to reiterate what we were saying there. That is a consumer advocate as well, not necessarily in the term that we would use it as for advocacy of harm reduction products. You're helping to help the industry in that manner. Awesome to be able to, I love being able to refer people to businesses or places because you had a great experience there, or, they've helped you. That's awesome, because people only ever talk about the ones that were no good. Yeah.
Well, I had a friend. He used to be really, really, really into comics, obscure, independent, alternative stuff. A lot of sort of niche stuff was what he really liked the most. He'd moved away from superhero comics. He kind of felt they were juvenile. I don't agree with him, but that's how he felt. And he managed a store for a while. It was kind of a main street, right out in the public, sort of a lot of walk-by traffic. And his stock, I mean, whatever he liked personally, had very little effect on what his stock was. He carried the Flash, he carried everything that had Superman, he had Aquaman, he had Spider-Man, he had Captain America, and they're all lining the walls up the front. And you get further and further back, and there's like one little shelf, and it's literally, this is the stuff that he likes, and this is the three things that people have asked him for, and he just stocks them there. He takes his own copies, and the rest will go for sale, just because he's got access to that. He worked there for ages, absolutely ages, and he didn't really like it. He liked being in the industry, but he didn't like what he was selling up front. But that's what people came in for. That's what they asked for. He shifted to another store, a different area, and a little bit more off the street, a little bit more. You have to hunt for this place. And it was known for being the place where you go get the weird, the obscure, the back issues of stuff that's been out of print for 5 years, all that stuff. And there's not a Spider-Man or Superman thing in the entire store to be seen. Lots of S&M all over the walls, though. I mean, it was just that sort of thing. He felt way, way more at home, but he had to readjust his ordering and actually get more on top of things he'd be missing in the 5 years previous. I view the vape stores being pretty much the same way. If you have a store and you go in and it's wall-to-wall pods and nothing but pods, and you turn around and walk out, well, you've had no effect on their business. You're just a face at the door that's gone. And everyone who makes a purchase is buying what they sell. So they're going to continue to stock and order more pods. You have to make that purchase and make that inquiry. Okay, I like your store. I want to give you some business. Could you bring this in? Could you bring that in?
Yeah.
Even if it's just a bottle of juice or something.
Matthew Welch in the chat put out a good point too. He said the head shops killed my local shop, but it was their fault by not stocking or ordering based on request. The head shops will order me anything. And that's another, a caveat to what I was saying. If you go into your local vape shop and it's that, for a lack of better words, that douchey vape bro stuff that, you can't stand, and you go in there and it's, the worst. And they just stock, the one type of juice, you know what I mean? Because this is what's cool and all that. Obviously, you don't have to patronize that business. You know what I mean? Don't waste money on an industry that's not going to look, on a company that's not going to look out for you as well. But also, you can create more business by, Matthew Walsh said, he goes into his head shops. It's this, for lack of better word, everyone doesn't know what a head shop is. It's basically like a smoke shop. They sell hookah. They sell, they sell bongs. They sell, all the paraphernalia stuff. But a lot of them also sell vape. And, my personal experience in Vegas, except for, a handful, most of the vape shops in Vegas, they're the everything's super sleek and it's white shelves, white floors, white walls, you know, and it looks like a fucking hotel room in like, you know, the fucking, what's that movie where they go in your dreams and all that shit, you know what I mean? And that shit sucks. But you can also bring in more vape business by asking the head shops that will, you know, that will order stuff for you to order those products, because that's what they're ordering from those manufacturers, or they're ordering from those wholesalers. They're not buying it like, you know, from like some portal that doesn't support the industry. They're also supporting the industry. So that's another thing too. And with a lot of places, at least here in the States, with marijuana becoming more recreationally accepted in a lot of places now, you're going to frequent that shop probably, you know, to go pick up your wraps or your papers or your, you know, your paraphernalia to do that. And guess what? While you're in there, you might be able to pick up a bottle of your favorite anarchist juice or whatever juice it is. If they sell juice, let them know what you'd like, and then next time you come in to pick up your wraps, they'll have your juice too. So you don't have, you know what I mean? Like, it all supports the industry in a way, and it also keeps you vaping and it keeps you away from cigarettes, you know?
As you raise an interesting thought in my head too, that if you are looking at these stores, there are like the independent little vape shops around, and then there are chains. And if you go into a chain, you probably got less chance of getting them to order something special in for you, because they're ordering through the chain store's portal. We can only bring in what the chain store brings in. That's decided by head office. I have no say in that.
It's like a McDonald's franchise. You're still getting a Big Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you go to an independent store, you probably, first of all, you are supporting the grassroots level, but you're also, they're ordering from multiple different vendors, distros, so they probably have a wider range of being able to find someone on their list that is carrying, you know, the newest RDA or the newest mod or tube or whatever you're after.
And one thing I will say for sure from my experience working where I work, that there are shops that order all the time, you know, one bottle of something for somebody that picks it up, and then a couple of weeks later it turned into 2 bottles so they'd have it, and then 3 bottles after that, and then after that they buy a whole you know, not a pallet, but like a whole case full, so they're prepared. You know what I mean? Like they see the consistency of it. Like you're like they will order you 1 bottle of juice. You know what I mean? Like you just have to ask for it.
Indeed. My brain was just going then into a, you know, like a campaign on the lowdown of hobbyist vapors who would, you know, secretly go to stores and be asking, you know, for these certain products and helping to bring, you know, some of those better quality products into the thing, as we was discussing before, you know, changing the perception.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
One thing I do want to address in the chat, because it's been brought up, and then we hit an hour, so we'll probably close it out. But so a lot of people are saying that they're seeing that in California especially. I can't speak to every region because I know every state or every county has their own stuff like this. But the reason why you're seeing a lot of pods in these vape shops because of states' taxes and taxes that are being put on vaping, because it's such a small amount of liquid in there. The tax is usually per the milliliter of liquid on the product. So when you get taxed for 100 milliliters, you're paying say 10 cents per milliliter. That's $1 tax you got to pay extra on this at a wholesale level. It's not a huge ding, but that's not a great ding, right, for you to buy. You know how much you're going to pay on this? You're probably going to pay 60 cents a tax compared to $1, depending on the tax rate. So that for the stores to buy those products, they have to pay taxes on it up front or at the end of the year, right? So they have to keep a running tally. So it's a lot easier to have products on your shelf that are not going to cost you a lot, that might or might not move. But they will probably bring in your products that you want if you ask them, because they know it's going to be sold. It hurts paying $10 tax on this bottle or however much tax is and having it sit there forever, compared to paying a quarter of that tax on this product that can sit there forever and eventually will most likely sell. Yeah.
Good point.
So if you go in there and ask, you might have to bite the bullet, and I don't know, depending on what the shop or the person you're buying from is, the wholesale tax or the retail tax or the tobacco tax, whatever it is, a lot of places won't put that on the consumer. They'll eat that on their end, you know, to keep the doors open. And then with you going in there and patronizing them and buying the product, it makes it worth it.
Yeah, indeed. There's a lot of points there. I was going to, you know, say also, but I'm putting myself in a massive minority here of, you know, I would be happy with certain products to prepay for them, you know, if they didn't have it in store, or if that was a guaranteed situation. I don't have any issue with that. But again, that's isolating it even further, because you need to know what it is that you want to buy. or
Yeah.
you know, those kind of things. So that doesn't work for people wanting to just try stuff. You know, that's rolling the dice pretty heavily. But then again, you roll the dice when you're buying stuff that's in store and you've never tried before. You know, so it's all same.
Yeah. And one other thing,
like Chris was saying earlier, you may end up paying more in store than you do ordering, but keep in mind, the shipping and all that adds up, and you are paying for that convenience. The fact of the matter, they said, if you train your local store that you like something and you will come in every week or two to buy it, then now you've got a convenience that you didn't have before. I have to think ahead. I need to plan out how much I'm going to need, make sure I have more than that on hand. I need to order from there. I've got to be at the fucking door. Otherwise, who knows where my package is going to be. Or I could pay a little bit more to create a situation where now I've got convenience. I can turn up when I want, as long as the store's open, and I'll walk in, there's always a bottle. If I use too much this week, they've got an extra bottle sitting there for me. I can just head down and grab it. Yeah. It's a convenience aspect that you're paying for, and that's kind of where the premiums come in when you paying that extra.
Yeah.
I have a really bad similarity is that I can think of three, just while you were saying that, I can think of 3 different convenience stores that I've moved house near to over the past years who started stocking the brand of cigarette that I smoked because I asked them. And they got it in for me. 3 different retailers.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I mean, that's not good for combustible tobacco use. But in the end game, it was a retailer who recognized, well, here's a regular customer who's going to come in and get it.
Yeah.
Because I asked, can you please get this for me? And they were like, yep, we can. I was like, okay.
And this is my last harp on it. Sorry, but real quick. If you're like me and you don't like to go into stores and meet people right away or whatever, be social, you don't have to go into the vape shop. Guess what? You pick up the phone or you shoot them a message on their Facebook page or their Instagram page. Hey, if I were to come in next week, would you be able to get this juice? And then it's ready for you to go. You don't even have to socialize if you don't want to, but you're still helping people. But yeah, that's all I got.
Asking you shall receive.
Yeah.
Or not. Yeah. Not sure. Maybe. Yeah, we are over time.
We are.
Thank you again, Mr. Vandal, for hosting. Much appreciated.
Yeah. I don't have anything going on this week, actually. We're taking the week off from the show, from the Friday show. But we'll be back next week after that. And that's all I got. Look, search on my OnlyFans, harrybuttholes./onlyfans. But FLANS.com, whatever. That's all I got.
Oh, my gosh. I have the usual lineup this week, which is a hearty round of coffee and banter tomorrow morning over on my channel. Pretty much the usual for a Wednesday morning. Sunday, we have the Aussie Vape Show. We will be having Dr. Colin Mendelsohn, a leading light in Australian advocacy, joining us to inform us more about the current laws, the laws that are coming up, the changes, what we need to be aware of, and how we're going to navigate our way through that. That's going to be our Sunday shows are all over the place, but that's going to be a more advocacy and information based one, less buttholes, less OnlyFans, and in between there, I'm going to do what I say this every week. I'm going to try and get some reviews done. I've done very little of that this week. I've been taking care of the last little bits of getting things organized. But that's literally it for me for this week.
Yeah. I have news, but I don't have any news. So that's basically, but very much looking forward to speaking to Dr. Mendelsohn on Sunday. That will be a must watch for Australian vapors or people in that situation. And like I said last Sunday, even if you're not part of the Australian region, the man is a wealth of knowledge, and all all of that kind of knowledge can be applied in your location. So yeah, definitely one to watch. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, well, we'll be back next Monday, and that's it. You guys have a good night. We appreciate every single one of you being here. We appreciate Adam starting his computer every week for it to blow up. Steve for clipping his hair right before the show. That's a secret. No one will know. Other than that,
we love you. You're very special.
Have a great freaking night and afternoon wherever you're at. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.